Hey guys, Mechagodzilla 4 here. Today having a new series I'm doing, and you may be saying, wait a minute, you said that you were only going to be doing Godzilla PS4. Well, I'm a filthy liar, and I have a horrible attention span. I cannot stick to one thing. So, I've never seen any other Godzilla YouTuber do this, so I think I'm going to be the first at least, and if you are out there, I'm sorry, but I couldn't find you. I tried looking up videos like this. There's a few episodes I like this, but or a few things that are similar to this, but I'm gonna be the first one to do this. So this is a what if Godzilla kind of thing. So I'll be saying a scenario, whatever you want to pronounce it, on something that happens, and you can tell me your thoughts of what you think would happen in the description or something like that. But basically, you get it. You see, I bet you know what ifs are. So let's start with what if Super Mechagodzilla finished or killed Godzilla off. Now, if you remember in the movie, Super Mechagodzilla basically made Godzilla brain dead and paralyzed him, and then just started blasting him. But then Rodan, being the little cheeky bastard he is, goes onto Godzilla, revives him, and then then Godzilla kicks Mechagodzilla's ass. But what if Rodan didn't get up? What if Mechagodzilla kept blasting and finished killing Godzilla, and Rodan was also dead? Now here's what I think, or this is what I think how it would play out. First off, the human characters would all celebrate, though a few of them would be sad because, no, Godzilla was part of the Earth, no, kind of stuff. So, first off, most of the humans would celebrate, and Japan would be rebuilding. And then a year later, they would still warn, the little fairies would still warn the one girl, I don't remember her name, about the evil space monster coming to Earth. Now, this is the part where it gets different. Space Godzilla, if we're going by the Mothra movie or Biollante timeline, which the Biollante timeline doesn't make any sense, basically Space Godzilla would still arrive to Earth, just as usual. But, instead of fighting Mogira and Godzilla, he would just be fighting Super Mechagodzilla, and this is where things change. He'll land on the Space Godzilla would land on the island, and everything would be fine. It wouldn't be, but there still would be a little Godzilla. That's the thing I almost forgot. Little Godzilla wouldn't go swim off with Godzilla. The humans would have kept him and kind of tried to make him study him and try to make a Godzilla that they could control as a weapon. So Project T, which was the mind control thing, would never have happened. They would have been using little Godzilla for experiments or trying to study him, find ways to make a new weapon that is stronger than Super Mechagodzilla and has like Godzilla's powers, kind of like a Kiryu, but not a Kiryu. Basically, Space Godzilla would still land on the island and everything would be going as usual, but instead of him having a brief encounter with Godzilla, since Godzilla's dead, he would just instantly fly and looking for a city. Now, if we're talking about saying Super Mechagodzilla could go into space, then he would, and he'd probably lose if he fought Space Godzilla in space. Judging by the mass that Space Godzilla's crystals are in, and the amount of sonar damage that he can emit from that little form that could cripple Mogira in that form, he'd probably win if he went into space. But I don't think they'd take him into space, considering that he has all these vents and stuff, and they never even thought about it in the movie. Now, if we're saying Super Mechagodzilla cannot go into space, and Space Godzilla lands and stuff, and they send Super Mechagodzilla out of it, Space Godzilla stands no chance. Super Mechagodzilla, all the weapons it can, both Super Mechagodzilla and Space Godzilla are terrible at hand-to-hand combat. And Space Godzilla's beam will just give Super Mechagodzilla energy. And Super Mechagodzilla, if they knew If they knew Space Godzilla was basically a clone of Godzilla, then from the previous movie, they would remember that he had the same second brain issue that they had with normal Godzilla. So, they'd most likely try to do that to Space Godzilla, and if they did manage to paralyze him, Space Godzilla would also be defeated. Even in normal combat, Space Godzilla, compared to the amount of weaponry Super Mechagodzilla has, would still lose, in my opinion, since they both suck at hand-to-hand combat. Now we fast forward a year to 1995 when Destroyer comes around. Super Mechagodzilla probably would still be around, but they probably would have changed him. They probably would have gave him better melee type weaponry on top of his ranged weaponry. That way he can be perfect like weapon against any kind of monster. So think of it as Super Mechagodzilla and Kiryu fused into one being. At this time, they probably would have done something similar to that, since they had years to upgrade Super Mechagodzilla over and over again. Now, when Destroyer comes, and we're skipping to final form because Godzilla never really fought the other forms. When Destroyer comes in his final form against Super Mechagodzilla, Destroyer also stands no chance. Now, again, remember, this is Super Mechagodzilla and Kiryu fused at this point. There is no way Destroyer can win, considering Destroyer was wrecked pretty badly against Burning Godzilla with just his beam and just his normal attacks. Now, up that beam a ton, and up the melee, Destroyer just stands no chance. And as for Godzilla Jr. coming around, at this point, they probably have him under their control and would also send him out to fight Destroyer. Now, we're not going to go into Millennium Timeline because that wouldn't make any sense, because they're two different timelines. So, that is my first what if for Godzilla on if Super Mechagodzilla killed Godzilla, how would the rest of the series play out? Thank you all for watching. If you want more of this series, comment a new what if down below. If you don't want more of this series, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Click like, subscribe, all that fancy stuff all the YouTubers say.
Go
Click
ahead
that
and
like
slap
and
that
subscribe
like button and that
give me
subscribe button, because for every time you
million likes and all that crap. Basically, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.